This podcast is brought to you by Elite Level Status Wines. My wine journey started with drinking cheap grocery store wines that were really acidic and gave me headaches. Then I switched to quote-unquote luxury, but overpriced, full-bodied wines that were really heavy and had a bad aftertaste. The inability to find the perfect wine led to the creation of Elite Level Status Wines. Elite Level Status Wines are approachable, medium-bodied wines with great flavor and minimal aftertaste. And with me being a health-conscious person, I wanted to create a wine that was lower in sugar and lower in calories than the full-bodied mass-produced wines that we always see. We currently have two wines. First is our Cabernet. It has notes of blackberry, cinnamon, plum, nutmeg, and French vanilla. Then we also have our Rosé wine. Our Rosé is going to be a flat, dry, pink rosé with subtle strawberry and raspberry flavors. Both wines are medium-bodied wines with less sugar and less calories, and they're both available on my website, elsfinewine.com. Check them out, and I hope you love it. Elite Level Status Podcast, we're back again. Today, we're talking about money, and I have a special guest. She's a businesswoman. She's an author. She's here today to talk about her new book, How to Cocktale. Her name is Dana June. Dana, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
So I have so much I want to ask you about, so let's just dive right into it. First of all, give me an overview about your background. Where did you grow up and how did you get to this point?
Absolutely. So I was born in Oceanside, California, but I was raised out in Vegas, been out here since I was 4. I've been in the service industry since I was 18 years old, started as a hostess and then moved to Cocktails at 21. My education, I went to UNLV for my bachelor's. I got my bachelor's in business management. And then I got an MBA from Washington State University with a focus in hospitality and tourism. So I definitely think I have the lived experience as well as the business theory. And it really helped shape my book and write my book and my brand like we were talking about.
So you started working in the service industry while you were still in school?
Yes.
Okay. And kind of what was that experience like?
Brutal.
It was brutal?
Something we don't talk about, I paid for school out of pocket completely.
Okay.
Every month I paid for it. I served tables and that money went straight to school. I lived at home, thankfully. I lived at home till I was 29. And you're paying for school. You're working to pay for school. So you can't miss work, but you need to dedicate yourself to school. Yeah. But you need to, it's such a toxic cycle that I didn't realize I was in. And actually my bachelor's took me 7 years to finish.
Okay.
It's a 4-year program.
Right. But listen, you have to go at your own pace. Mm-hmm. Once it's done, you have that degree forever. Mm-hmm. It's always worth it. So I respect the fact that you were able to do both, and the want to do both as well. I definitely like that. So let's jump into your book here, How to Cocktale. First question everyone's going to have: why this name?
I love my name. So whether you believe in astrology or not, I'm a Gemini.
Okay.
And
I am too, so I like it.
No way!
Yes.
When's your birthday? Sorry,
June 20th. I'm right on the border.
Ooh, okay. I'm 15th.
Okay.
So Dana June. I'm actually not named June because of the month I was born. I'm named after my grandpa. He's a junior. Okay. And they call him June. So I'm named after him, but it's also the birth month. And I'm a Gemini, so I love ambiguous things. So back to my title. I've always had the idea of How to Cocktale as the title. First off, cocktail is a mix of a bunch of ingredients. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's what this book is.
I like it.
Has experiences, has lessons. So you have that. And then How to Cocktale is like a play on the job itself because it's not necessarily a hard job to say. So you don't really need an instruction book on how to do it. So that's kind of another thing I liked. And then I changed the N to tail because I ideally want to have multiple books, talk about different things, not necessarily just money. Something I've discovered in this whole process is maybe like a power imbalance or like the stuff that we deal with in the industry rather than just dealing with money. So I think I can branch off into those, and I think it would be very good for multiple readers because this right here is just for like financial literacy and then other people who just maybe want like some gossip or a good read.
I love it. I think that's very smart.
Thank
you.
And
I think that there is distinct audience for both.
Mm-hmm.
So you're already setting it up with the title. So I can tell that you think ahead. Very, very
Yes.
important. Okay, so a money question here. So do you think that people who say money doesn't matter, do you think that they're lying to themselves?
I wouldn't say they're lying to themselves. Just want to be careful. But I think money affects a lot of things like peace, stability, your choices.
hmm
So to say it doesn't matter, I don't think would be correct. I think people who say money doesn't matter, they come from privilege to where maybe it doesn't matter.
hmm
And or they come from avoidance where it's just easier to not think about it and to live my life in the now because I'm going to
Yeah,
die at any point.
yeah,
So yes, you don't want to be centered around money, but to say it doesn't matter, you do have to understand the fact it does matter and it does affect your life
right,
in multiple ways.
right, right. I agree. Let's kind of keep going through like an overview of the book.
Mhm.
What are you expecting people to, or what do you want people to get from your book?
So this book is for the service industry directly because it's what I grew up around.
hmm
I want them to feel seen, empowered, motivated. I want them to be able to relate to me, like, oh, yeah, I do that, or I have that same habit. And then you go on my Instagram, and, my Instagram looks like I live this lavish life. It's so fun, or I'm eating at these nice places. So I'm trying to teach people that all I did was work and learn financial literacy and, sacrifice where I needed to. Like all that stuff comes from 10 years of being in this industry and grinding.
I like it. I like it. So it sounds like you have a specific customer
Mhm.
that you're trying to grab with
Mhm.
this book. Someone that's been in the cocktail industry, someone that's interested in your perspective because they've kind of lived they've gone down a similar path as you,
Mhm.
so they'll be able to identify with what you've written.
So that was my target audience in the beginning, but now I'm realizing this is for anyone that makes fast money.
Yeah.
Uber drivers, entrepreneurs,
Mm,
sometimes the months are good, sometimes they're not. So
right.
just dealing with that inconsistency, having that discipline, the gratitude, which I talk about in the book as well, are very key foundations, I think.
Interesting. So, yeah, you mentioned gratitude. How does gratitude and financial discipline relate to each other?
This is a good question because gratitude is, being thankful for what you have. And when you are grateful for what you have, you don't self sabotage. You don't overspend. You're not trying to keep up with the Joneses, as what they say. So you're happy with what you have. You know what you have is good enough, good, and you're okay with that. So it actually helps you become disciplined in that sense.
Can someone be grateful and have gratitude but still want more?
Absolutely. Me right here. No, absolutely. Gratitude is not I'm okay here forever,
Right.
but it's I'm very grateful for what I have. Something I'm very grateful for is a warm shower.
Yeah.
Every time I get in a warm shower, it's like, how many people don't have access to warm
Okay.
water, don't have access to water, just like very little things like that. So every time I take a shower, it just feels like an overwhelming feeling of gratitude, and now everything else on top of that, it just becomes an abundance. The
Okay.
soap, the everything, it's crazy.
So that's important. That's an important point. So it's not about only focusing on your goals in the future. It's about taking a moment to be grateful for what you do have.
Mm-hmm.
Because wherever you're at now, there's somebody out there that would love to be in your position.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people forget that, and I think that that's very important for you to bring that up because everyone's always, like you said, it's a life of comparison. We're all
Mm-hmm.
looking on social media,
Ugh,
looking at our friends, comparing what we have and what we don't have to what we think we want and what other
absolutely.
people have. I think that if everyone focused more on what they do have and always remember that there's someone that would love to be in your shoes, I think that there would be more positive, I don't want to say self-esteem, but people's overall happiness level would go
I
up
agree.
if you would take time to be thankful and have gratitude
Just
for wherever you're at.
the littlest things, a car, a job, waking up.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things to be grateful for. And then that's just like a baseline.
Yeah.
Now you start thinking about, I went to work and I made this amount of money. That's how grateful am I? And I think it changes your mindset too, because a lot of people in the industry, you go in and you have a certain amount you want to make.
Right.
So if I don't make that, I'm upset. And I think that if you change your mindset to any amount of money I walk in here with or I walk out with is a bonus. Anything is a bonus. That's how gratitude will affect you and your mindset with it in the industry.
What's that based on? How did you determine how much money you want? Because as I understand, like I've never worked in the service industry, but I understand that it's inconsistent.
Yes.
And a lot of it is based on tips and whoever your guest is on that day. So how do you develop a goal for how much money you want to make? And then how do you achieve that if you have no control for who your guest is going to be on that day when you go in?
Thank you. Literally. No, seriously. We, as people in the industry, we average, we make this. Oh, it's this. We're going to make this amount. Like, you don't know. Don't know.
Yeah.
And I actually talk about that in my book. I talk about deleting everything you know about previous sections and what you've heard from other people, or this is a bad shift or this is a good shift, because you don't know.
Right.
You have people, you could walk in, someone hits a jackpot, and now it's your lucky day.
And they're ready to,
Exactly. Yeah, you don't know. So I talk about basing it off your slower days. That's how you should budget, not based off like what the average is.
I feel like there's a lesson there of learning to control what you can control. And I feel like everyone struggles with this, but this is something that in my life, there are certain things that I can control. There's a lot of things that I can't control. I do my best not to stress about what I can't control, right? I feel like in your industry, you come into work, you see Mr. Big Rich Celebrity over there. Wow, I want that table. Well, you can't just have him because I'm sure some system or someone else is determining who gets what table, right? So now you're getting this person over here who may not tip, or maybe he's in a bad mood or whatever. You got to bring the same energy and give him the same level of service as you would that rich celebrity over there. Mentally, I'm sure that could take a toll.
But what you just said, I think that another point I'm making here, you got to give every guest the same service, because we all know celebrities that don't tip. We can all name celebrities that don't tip. And then we all know the random guy
which is
driving a Camry that just made your whole life, made your whole day. So you never know. And I think that with the industry, we get entitled, and we've been here so long. We know how it is. We know what shift it is. We know what money what shift to take, how much money we're going to make. And that actually holds us back a lot from succeeding, because when I was paying for school, I took any shift, every shift. If I had to open, I opened. If I had to close the night before, I still went. Like, it didn't matter.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people in the industry, we lose that mentality because we're like, oh, it's not a good shift. It's not worth my time.
Right.
Because I'm not going to make anything.
Right. Do your expectations get kind of screwed up if you do have that one huge night where you do meet someone who just won, a jackpot?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That happens a lot in the industry. A lot of girls will get those big nights. And I think a way that we reward ourselves is to treat ourselves, go out, buy a bag, maybe do something. So I think that if you don't have that financial literacy or that grounding, like, to me, right now, if I were to make, let's just say $10,000, I would treat it as if I made the lowest amount, and everything would just be like either in savings or extra. I would never change that.
Do you hear this advice coming? How to Cocktale.
Thank you. Thank
you. Great. I love that. Okay. So that kind of leads into my next question. So what's a toxic money habit that you've seen in the service industry that looks good on the surface, but actually will keep you broke?
What I just talked about is that overcompensating, that rewarding yourself. We always reward ourselves in the industry. I have so many messages with my friends. You deserve it, shouty. Treat yourself. Like, that's what we say all the time. Oh my God, what I had to deal with. Go out. Yeah.
Okay, so keep that thought. When you're messaging your friend, you deserve that. That's based on she had a great night. That's based on a customer was just being a jerk and she had to deal with it. Like, what prompts that? Say, hey, you deserve something. What happened?
You worked. Okay. That's what happened. That's it. Like, you could have a bad night and you need to treat yourself. You could have a good night and you need to treat yourself. There's just no, you're right. There is no like a thing that determines what you should treat yourself. You just treat yourself because, oh my God, this guy, I got stiffed on X amount of money. I need to go and treat myself, or I don't need him, or hey, he tipped me 30%. I'm going to go treat myself, So we're just constantly in this cycle of treat yourself.
Could that be dangerous if somebody starts treating themselves like 4 times a week?
4 times a week is less than what we do.
Oh.
We work 5 shifts. We're going out 5 times a week, meeting at the bar. Oh, it's completely dangerous. The whole system is dangerous. And that's exactly why I wanted to write the book, because we're not taught these questions that you ask from the outside looking in.
They didn't teach you this in college.
You're just like, in high school even, in Nevada. So you're looking at, you're like, it seems like common sense. Like, how are you going to spend money you don't know if you're going to make it? And it's like, but you get in it and somehow years go by and all of a sudden you have that same mentality.
It's interesting because from the outside looking in, everyone has their opinion on what other people should do with their money. Everyone's like, oh, you work at a nightclub, whatever. You make all this money. You should do this, that, this, and that. Okay, well, let's check your financial situation. Let's check your bank account. Are you the most disciplined person ever?
Absolutely.
Probably not, right?
Probably not.
So everyone's like pocket watching each other. And I can only imagine if you're in there working and boom, 10, 20, 30,000 in one shot. You don't know what you would do unless that's actually happened to you.
You would do, yeah.
You don't know how that's going to affect you. I can only imagine like seeing that like, oh, well, okay, this happened. This is going to happen again or whatever. I'm going to work this shift again. Cool. I'm going to go splurge. I deserve it. The other night I had a jerk that I had to deal with. He didn't tip me at all. Now it's positive energy. Now, like I showed up again. I got 30 grand. Let's ball out.
Right.
I think that's...
And 30 grand is a lot. Let's just even say 1,000.
Yeah.
1,000 is a lot of money to make. If you make 1,000 in one night, that mentality that you're going to make it again is a lot more common rather than 30,000. Once like a one-time shot.
People watching this are going to be like, how do I get this job? I know some people that may watch this be like, whoa, what
and then after you read my series, like all of the books, you're going to be like, oh my God, what did she go through? It is a price you pay. Yes, we make a lot of money, but there's a lot of things we pay in other expenses.
I like it. Okay. How to Cocktale. I love it. And I can see how the tail part of this could be gigantic as well. You start writing books on things that you've seen and experiences you've had. Okay, so I think that a lot of people, and this isn't just in the service industry, but people in general, they chase money hoping it'll solve like an emotional wound, right? What emotional or identity-based healing needs to happen before someone can be like financially healthy?
Well, that would mean a blanket statement for everybody, and I don't really like to do that. But if I had to, it'd be therapy.
Okay.
Everybody deserves to go to therapy.
Let's keep it to the service industry then. What kind of like foundation do you need in order to navigate what you're going to be seeing?
So, like you said, I think keyword is foundation, and that's really what I focus on in this book is changing your mindset. Like you said, a lot of people have recommendations on what you should do with your money. Invest in this, invest in that. That's not what this book is. And I was trying to make it not like that because you're going to get that pushback from everybody. No, don't do that. Don't. Even I talk about 401ks and the amount of people in the industry who are so against 401ks that tell me like, don't do it. You should put your money in this instead. And I'm like, I didn't say put all your money in a 401k. I just said, it helps you with tax deductions and stuff like that. So I didn't want to tell people this, don't do that. So I think the first step and this could be a blanket statement, is that foundation, is your mindset, is changing that, is practicing gratitude. It actually has nothing to do with money. If you and it's pretty much the foundation for life as well. Like once you build that, everything else, like I said, is in abundance and you can't tear it down.
So do they give you like any sort of training or like do they give you a 401k or any sort of investment channel in the service industry, or they just like pay you and it's on you to figure it out?
I think everybody is different. So I'm not sure if you know, a lot of the casino workers are union.
Okay.
So if you are union, they do offer you benefits and stuff like that. I think it depends. Your company, it depends if they offer 401k. But yes, so that's another thing too. Not only do we make a lot of money, we have really good benefits. At 10 years, I was 10 years vested into my pension. I had my 401k. I had vacation time. I had a set schedule. Why would I leave? Like,
Right.
And, it goes back to being complacent in it. And once I got out of it, I realized, oh my God, this is not normal. And even how successful I am by my definition, over those 10 years, if I had this kind of mentality right when I started, oh my God, I don't even know where I would be.
Interesting. So is it pretty much like, if you hear that people are making more money at one spot, is there a lot of like job changing?
There is.
Within the industry?
They do. As soon as you hear maybe a new lounge is opening or a new place is opening, yeah, you go chase the money. Absolutely. That's, I think, a toxic trait too that we have. I always say the grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah, I
I
totally
just
agree with
reposted
that.
your.
Yeah.
I'm such a firm. I don't care what shift I'm in. It's
Right.
not the section. It's the server. So yeah, absolutely.
So how do you need some gratitude in that situation as well? Because if you have a job and fancy new lounge opens up, that's probably another good time to practice some gratitude because you're jumping into a new situation. And typically, I always say like chasing money in life typically like doesn't, I'd say more often than not, it doesn't end well. You need to
I agree.
chase, you need to chase good people, good culture, good environment. And definitely
agree.
water the grass wherever you're at. But I mean, we live in a comparison world, so it's hard. And
absolutely.
most of us work. I always preach you should work in something that you're passionate about, but most people work for the check, right? So you're like, if I have to be here anyway, I want the most money. That gratitude can be easier said than done, but I can only imagine in the service industry, sometimes it can be even harder to practice that, especially when you may have someone that you know or a friend that left and they're over there getting paid.
And I think if somebody that's been there less amount of time than you maybe has a good night, you're kind of like jealous or envious, and it does breed that comparison. So yeah, very toxic environment.
So from a culture standpoint, like does your company, how do you manage that? Like if some person has a good guest and they make a ton of money and then no one else made anything that night, is there a system where you can like share tips, or is that not in like something that you'd want to do? If someone gets a great tip, let them keep it, and then hey, like whatever happens. It kind of every person for themselves. So
disclaimer, I am not a cocktail waitress anymore. I wrote this job I wrote this book during a job suspension, and I was a transition out of the service industry. So when you said my company, I don't want it to be like, I still work for that place.
Yeah,
so
former company.
I think, again, everybody is different. Everybody has different rules. Some places do tip pool. I worked in a lounge where you tip pooled, so it didn't matter how it is. If you make your own money, usually you have relationships with the girls, and you kind of figure it out. But it's messy. It is messy, and the company won't get involved. Or management usually wouldn't get involved in that because it's messy.
Right.
I'm not going to get involved in that.
Right. Okay, how do you personally check in on your relationship with money? Do you journal? Do you treat yourself? All the above. Kind of what do you do to make sure you're where you want to be?
One habit that I do, I check my bank accounts probably every day.
Okay.
If not all bank accounts, the most, like the top 3, all credit cards. So I know exactly like what I have at any given point. My accounts don't go like overdrawn and I'm just like, what? Like, let me go back. Oh, yep, that was all me. Like, I'm very aware of what I'm spending, not hitting limits. So I think that helps me face it too. Because then if I'm spending a lot, then I'm like, wait a minute.
Smart. I like that. I want to take a second to talk about your marketing approach.
Oh.
Now, I think that you did an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
So amazing that I invited you on my show. I was like, this is well done. You teased it. You released it on January 11th. Like you had the angel numbers going. The marketing was great to the point where I was waiting until January 11th. Like, okay, now I got to check it. Now I want to see the whole rollout. What website? Nice and simple. We don't listen.
So simple.
Listen, we don't need a huge fancy website, people. Because you have the product, but your personal branding is also great, and the way you've put them together. Great job.
Oh,
Can you walk people through kind of like your marketing approach? Did you learn this in school?
Thank you so much.
Where does that come from?
Because I really had fun with that.
Okay.
I definitely had fun with it. So I think we hear a lot about people being authentic, and, be authentic, be authentic. And what authenticity means to me is just being yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that it's very apparent that I am myself. And it's something that is very on brand to me. So I was able to. So if you go on my Instagram, I bowl, I take hip hop classes, I talk about business, and then there's a pretty girl. So I was able to incorporate all that in different parts to promote my book. So I have a dance video where I'm in my merch, where I'm also talking about the book as well. So I'm able to people who are here for my dance, I'm still gonna do that. I'm not gonna overwhelm you with my book. And that's another thing too. I wanted to keep it still me on the page. I didn't want to overwhelm with the book. So I don't know if you noticed, I post a bowling video here and just so that was fun. As far as learning it, I think it was just, I don't know, it was just very me. It was very fun. So I'm very glad that you noticed it and you saw it. And I'm just getting started with it, honestly. You think it's not a soft launch, but that was just phase 1, I would say.
Right. And I think it's important or at least I'll put it this way, you don't come off as too salesy.
Oh, thank you.
And I think a lot of times with business, it's an easy mistake to make. But I think that when people come to your page, they're coming there looking for the entire package, right? The dancing, the bowling. And it's you give us, 2 or 3 pieces of content of, you being you. And then content piece 3 or 4 is something about the book, right? And I think that's the best way to do it so you don't tire people out.
Yes.
Because I look at social media it's an honor for someone to follow you, right? People could definitely unfollow you. And that's what you don't want, because this is the most effective marketing that any of us ever have, is being on social media, being in your phone at all times, right? So you want to be able to put out content that people like, hit that like button so that I'm in your feed and in your algorithm. And then so now when I do tell you, hey, I have this product, okay, it's not forced.
Yes.
It's just naturally, here it is. Okay, I like this person. I'm following. Let me check it out, right? And so as your following grows, that's just a wider customer base. And just in my experience, that's way better than any sort of billboard or anything that you're going to do, or PR. If you have a good social media presence, I think you're well on your way. So definitely like how you did that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I am doing PR boxes too. I've doing so much with it, so I'm so excited about it. But yeah, I'm just waiting on that.
Awesome. So one more question. Was there a time in your life where you were making great money, but you still felt broke? Now, broke can mean financially, but that can mean mentally or physically or spiritually also.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I think I would rotate. If I was broke financially, my life was good, mentally and all that. And I would have good relationships and with my friends and all that. But as soon as I was making good money, everything else would go to shit. So I think a time that I could think of, I was probably 22 and I really didn't understand money whatsoever. I didn't understand credit cards. I think I had a credit card. It was $2,000 was the limit. It was maxed out. Minimum payment, $40. You pay the 40.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have $40 to spend.
Yeah. Right. I mean, yeah.
So then you spend the $40 and then you get interest paid, and now you're over the $2,000. And then I just kind of lived in that cycle for a very long time. And I really didn't even understand why or how credit cards worked or anything like that. So I think that was I always think back at that time, what was I doing?
So what did you do to get out of that? Or how do you, if you're in kind of a fog like that, what's your method to kind of work yourself out?
Me personally, I'm an overcorrector. So I went straight to a ramen diet.
Okay.
You have to put yourself in that mentality of being broke. So even when I was making all this money, I was just chucking it to my credit cards. I was throwing it, anything I made. I was eating my mom's spaghetti 5 days in a week. Anyone that knows me knows I will meal prep my mom's spaghetti. And that's kind of a way I get myself back on track when I'm kind of overspending. So I get myself into that mentality of sometimes I overspend and I have a lot of luxuries. So I think if I like cut back on those and like really start from square one, I can build back up.
Right. Okay. I like it. So what's next? So we're gonna keep marketing this book, right? So everyone definitely, again, how to cocktail. First, let's make sure we throw out there, how can people buy the book?
Oh, yes.
And what are all your social media handles?
So I'm on Instagram. It's going to be June.allyear. I have the link on my bio, but I do have a Shopify account. It's my name, danajune.myshopify.com. You can also DM me. A lot of people have done that to avoid shipping, but there is a pickup option on there if you are a Vegas local.
I can tell you're a businesswoman. Yes, very, very important. Make it as easy as possible for people to get your product. Yes. And I will have the links to her page and her Shopify store when I post this podcast as well. Okay, so going down the line, so we have this book. What's kind of like your timeline? Like, when will the next version of this be coming out? Are you already working on it? Maybe you don't want to say. Maybe you want to just keep it a secret, and that's fine too. But if people do like this product, what else can they expect from you in the future?
I think that I'm having so much fun building this brand of Dana June. I didn't even really consider it a brand, and now I'm just like, marketing myself as like someone relatable, someone that knows financial literacy. So I think just that, letting go, letting God, I'm kind of, where the wind takes me. If people offer me to come on podcasts, I'll do that. I do dance classes. So like sometimes I get offered to do performances, and I'm like pushing 30 and I'm like over here still performing. So I just do Dana June.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's what you can expect from me. More books. I am already working on another one.
Okay.
I am. I have so many ideas for multiple books, like diving deeper into financial literacy. Like I said, maybe confessions, my personal story. I was actually suspended from the company I worked at 3 times. So that's a story in itself.
3 times?
3 times. They got me on the last one, though.
So like, what do you get suspended for? Like, were you like cussing out a customer, or like what happened to get suspended?
I guess breaking the rules.
Okay.
I was breaking the rules allegedly, but 2 out of 3 of those suspensions I was brought back, and I received back pay on it. So
awesome.
With that, they kind of correct that they made a mistake in a sense. So I think that in itself has a story, as in it's a pattern.
Well, one of the benefits of being a businesswoman is you get to create your own rules, and you can't be suspended anymore when you own your own business. So that's another positive of what you're doing. Would you consider like any consulting or something? If someone calls you like, hey, I want to get into the industry, how do I do it? Would you ever consider that, or no?
Oh my goodness. I have thought about that, actually. I am doing my first consulting on Tuesday, actually.
Great minds think alike.
I am. So I didn't think of it, but he actually came to me and asked me for advice. So I am open to it. I think that I love helping people. If you know me, I'm such a helper. And I would do that. The only thing is, I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's a little mainstream. Like a lot of people do it, or maybe trendy, Like everyone's like, oh, I do this. I do financial literacy. Oh, I can help you with this. And
my thing is everything is mainstream. If you're good, if you're unique, then you can make money, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You should never let, just because someone else is doing it. If the guy that started Facebook said, oh, hey, MySpace is already there, I'm not going to start Facebook.
True, that is true.
It would have never worked, right?
Yeah.
And then the next guy, Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
So just because something exists, you put your own spin on it, then you should never, nothing is too mainstream to do it,
I agree. I just didn't want to like promote something, but I mean the demand is there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
like that's the only thing that I would go into that. I wouldn't think to go into consulting. I think that this is my consulting.
Yeah.
This was my outlet. So, but I definitely would branch out into that. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that's something that you would be great at. You come across very relatable, very articulate. I think that people, once they learn your story, in order to consult someone, they need to trust you and believe in what you're bringing, right? So by sharing your story through social media and your book, I think there's definitely a market there for someone like you. So and again, like it's not like you're on a time clock, right?
True.
You could do this 2 years from now. But it's never bad to
build more credibility, get some more,
exactly.
clients. Absolutely. That, yeah.
Exactly.
Even workshops I've thought about,
Yep. I like it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna put all your social media links on the show when I post it. I'll put the link to Shopify as well. Is there anything else that you'd like to discuss or let the watchers know?
Well, my book, How to Cocktale, is now out. It's a money manifesto for the service industry. It talks about why people in the industry make so much money and still end up broke. Definitely a conversation I wish I had with my younger self. And yeah, just follow me on social media and be on the lookout for more of this launch because I'm really excited for it.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Yay.
And
Thank you.
it's another episode. I'll see you guys next time.